So, hello, fellow Earthlings. This is Earthling 6455463728. And eggs, batteries, and coughing. That's what I want to talk about today. So, eggs. How do you tell if an egg is boiled or not? Like if you just mix them up with other eggs that you didn't boil. How do you tell that? Batteries. How do you tell if one of them is working or not without a multimeter to test the voltage, for example? And coughing. If you drank some water, drank it too fast, and now you're coughing. Right. So with respect to the eggs, apparently, a quick Google search, you'll see that what you have to do is spin an egg, and if you have one that's boiled and one that's not boiled, you'll see that the one that's boiled, it spins faster than the one that is raw. And you know, this is something that I really should remember because I remember looking at some science show where they were showing you um, they had two tins. One tin with like cheese or something thick and solid, and another tin with like soup. And they rolled them down this short incline. And the stuff with the soup in it, the liquid stuff, it rolled a lot slower than the stuff that was solid. And they explained that the stuff with the liquid resisted turning because, there wasn't as much friction between the liquid and the inside of the can. So when the can turned, the liquid didn't. And that slowed down the can from turning. Whereas because there's a lot of friction between the solid stuff that's in a can, um, if it's a solid thing, um, all of that energy, rotational energy, is transferred directly throughout the can and the thing rolls easily. And it's the same thing with an egg. When you try to spin an egg, like a top, the way you would try to spin a top, the liquid egg on the inside, the friction between the egg on the inside, the albumin, whatever the white stuff is, and it isn't that strong. So when you try to spin the egg ends up not spinning as fast. And I thought that was really cool. It's really interesting. If you see it, it's like completely different. It is a lot. It's more. At least it's more impressive to me when you see the two of them spinning. One spins really well, and the other one is like, I don't want to spin, kind of thing. What's the other thing I'm talking about today? Batteries. Yeah. So apparently, as especially disposable batteries, as they age and the charge inside of them is reduced. I think hydrogen starts building up in the inside of the cell. So what happens is, I think for a similar reason, for a similar reason, no, it's a different reason. The hydrogen builds up inside of the battery cell, and when you drop it, it bounces high. Boom! But when you, and maybe it could be for the same reason, maybe the stuff on the inside of it is because of the hydrogen buildup in it, maybe it's higher pressure and it's stuck. But when you drop a battery that is not discharged, like it has a lot of charge left in it, it just goes boop and hits the table or whatever it is and just doop, that's it. I'm full. I can't move. I'm full of energy, so I can't move. When you drop the empty one that has no charge, it's used up, washed up. It's like boom, get me out of here. I want to go into a, I want to bounce into a bin a trash can or something. So yeah, there's that. And um, yeah, it's an easy way to tell. I just had two batteries. They look the same, and I dropped them, and the difference is plain. It's clear. But I also have a voltmeter, so I could test the one and see that no, it just has. I could check online and see how much voltage it's supposed to have, and it has it, the appropriate one. And the other one is like on zero. It's nothing. It's completely dead. So yeah. Anyway, I was talking about choking. Now, this is something that, so for example, my uncle has dementia. I take care of him, and I give him stuff to drink from time to time. And usually, he's gonna start to cough because, of course, he's not completely um, cognitively aware, thinking what's gonna make him cough or not, and so he ends up coughing. And a lot of the time, my mom she'd say something like, "Do you want something to drink?" He's not gonna respond, but she'll ask anyway. And I always thought that's so silly. Well, I didn't always think that. I was just ignored it for a bit, and then I guess I started listening to it, and I was like, but he's choking because he drank water. How is it going to help him to drink more? That doesn't make any sense. That's absolutely ridiculous. But since he has that problem and he starts coughing, like almost every single day at some point, and he can go. It's a terrible coughing, like horrendous. His whole body shakes and everything because he has dementia. So, you know, he's not gonna think. She'll be like, hold your breath. Of course, he's not gonna hold his breath. He's not listening. And, there's so many opportunities for me to try as opposed to just waiting it out as he coughs and coughs and coughs for minutes at a time. So I thought, you know what? It can't be any worse than this to just try giving him some more water and see what happens. And I did, and lo and behold, this completely ridiculous idea or suggestion, it works. It works. I mean, it's not like, Shazam and it's done and it's fixed. I mean, if you drink some of the water, um, he might continue coughing, but then drink some more and he drinks some more, and then eventually, boom, done. Long before he would have stopped having these huge, awful, racking coughs. And I, I have no idea. I don't understand it. So anyway, I went looking on Reddit, and ugh, the people on Reddit, some people on Reddit, clearly, I want to stereotype Reddit, but it's the answers, that answer to that question about, you know, somebody asked the same thing I would have asked in the Explain It Like I'm Five group, I guess. Why is it when I drink water, if I'm choking, um, why does it stop me from drinking? And there was nobody who answered it, you know, properly, at least in something that I could understand. Um, and, you know, the name of the group is Explain It Like I'm Five. Some of these explanations are not like if the person who's listening is five. I think that's kind of silly, but whatever. So anyway, one of the people answered, "Oh, you're not choking. If you are choking, nothing would be able to pass up or down your throat, blah, 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 blah. And when you try to drink the water, it would just come back up and blah, 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 blah." I'm like, Jesus Christ. It's the colloquial understanding of what it is. Maybe it's not the technical definition of choking. And actually, I would imagine it's about blockage. It doesn't have to be a complete blockage because I've had things that have stuck in my throat, not recently, and I can remember being able to breathe somewhat, you know. But no, this person wanted to be like, no, um, you aren't choking. If you were choking, blah, blah, blah. You didn't explain anything. You just corrected the person's question when nobody had a problem understanding what the person was asking. Uh, I am a little bit, what is the word, salty, I suppose, because I asked a question, something to do with energy. Like what has the most energy, for example, with respect to something I don't remember. And the response of the person was, it's not energy that does anything. It's a difference of energy, da, 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 blah, 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 blah. I don't even know if they answered my question, but you know, who cares? I'm sorry if that's rude to the small subset of people who recognize that it's a difference in energy that is what we consider to be energy. For example, you can have a room that is full of what we would think like a really high temperature gas, and you can't do any work there because it's evenly distributed throughout the entire room. If you have a cold area and a hot area, then the heat's going to go from the from the hot to the cold, and then you can get work done. But if everywhere is hot, then you can't get any work done. You know what I mean. Why are you trying to correct me in such a way that's just annoying? But yeah. Anyway, they did not answer the question, but um, yeah, maybe I will go looking again at some point to see why this thing works. I don't understand why it works. Um, and I've had some really, really, you know, when I drink soda or whatever it is, sometimes, yeah, I have this thing stuck in my throat. And hmm, I just never thought that that could fix it. And I'm really glad that it works for my uncle, 100%, because, ugh, it's horrible to see him like convulse his entire body. Well, and just this thing, who knows when the hell it's gonna stop. He might stop for 2 seconds and then start back up again 30 seconds later. Ugh, it's good to have something to deal with that. Anyway, thanks for listening and have a good one. Peace.